Rightio. EarJuice here. It's been a while since I've done a workshop video, but anyway, are you sick of trying to find power supplies for your Korg Volcas and wanting to connect them all up without having to buy a Korg Volca mix and all the rest? Well, we're gonna do it. What you need now, the reason why they're a bit different is because of these barrel sizes. They are a bit weird and unusual. Well, according to what I've heard, they are 1.7 times 4.75 barrels. So I've bought 4 of them and they do fit. I've also bought a bit of cable. I could have used cable from lying around, but I thought I'd just buy some new cable. So we're going to measure it all out. That's why I've got the Volcas here, so that we're not, doing too much excess cable. And I've got a power supply. Now the important thing about the power supply is making sure that you've got enough amps. So this is a 3 amp, should be able to run all the Korg Volcas without any hassle. And 9 volt, of course, is what you want. So I want to build a splitter cable that is going to connect my 9 volt power supply to all the Volcas without the need for any other components, and measured up all nicely. So even if I bought one off somewhere else, it may be weird sizes. Who knows if I can even buy it. I'm guessing they're on eBay because I've seen other people have them. But this is a pretty easy job. I mean, really, you don't even need a soldering iron. I'm going to do the soldering, but you don't really need one. Now, once you unscrew those, you just get the 2 little pins here, and that's what your cable is going to be connecting onto. So let's just cut up the cable into the pieces that we need it, at the lengths that we need it, and start putting up our plugs. What I'm doing as well is I'm going to put one of these on the end, so that I'm not actually cutting my cable coming out of the power supply. So that will be able to plug into that, and then you can just connect them all up. And to get these off, you just unscrew them. Now, best way to solder is to tip everything first. That means you need to turn your soldering iron right up, get it nice and hot, and actually put solder into the actual metal, so it will soak straight in usually. And then you want to put little tabs of solder on here as well. That's the way I usually do it. And then you just heat both tabs up together, and then it will just solder in. There we go. As you can see, these ones now tipped, and I have my soldering iron nice and hot, so it got right in there.
Now the polarity is the inside small middle clip that sticks out, or tab. That is your positive. You would usually join that with the marked cable, so the cable that's got a dash or line down the side of it. And then the outside, that is your negative terminal, and that is for the unmarked side. So that is the way that I've done it.
Alright, I also had to recut the negative wire a bit shorter. Fits together quite nicely. And yes, notice my 2 positives are connected correctly. Alright, let's get on to the double cables next. That's going to be interesting. So even though I get the cables on, I'm not going to be able to twist it onto this plug. I was even looking at heat shrinking, but look at this. I found super small wire with a mark on one edge. Yeah, this is going to make much easier now, and that can twist. Probably didn't have to chop those ends off, but nah, it doesn't have to be that neat. As long as it covers it, I am a happy camper. Let's get this done. Yeah, so it's going to look like this now, with the thinner cable going to 2 of them. Oh, and look, I've buggered up some of them so badly just trying to get the cable, and that cable size really does matter. It makes just a massive difference. Just shoving the grey cable in, it just goes straight in, where it doesn't take me 5 minutes. It's just, that has wasted a lot of time with the project and really, you know, banged up everything, but it's a power cable. I can't say I'm too worried. It will do what it needs to do, and it's only 9-volt DC. I've got that tipped. I'm just going to join these together. I'll probably show one plug, and then we're just going to do the rest of them at this point, and go from there. Alright, and joined, and now for the moment of truth. Does it fit? And on. Bit out with a pair of pliers, holding the head as I screwed it. Got the cables twisted a bit, but it should be alright. Should be safe. I think, yeah, if I had tried that extra gauge cable, there's no way I would have gotten those together. Next few are going to be easy because, well, I've got this one that's all grey. That one is another grey black, and then put a black one on the end because might as well, if we can fit them in, might as well go the bigger size, just to be a bit I don't know, safer, I guess, although it matters. Alright, so I took out one of the batteries and it doesn't work, and moment of truth. Turn it on and turn it on, and look at that. So we at least know that the first one's working. That's a good sign. I mean, this thing can't be drawing too many amps, so I'd say we're gonna have no trouble doing all four. Alright, last one's done. We're just about to test it and put it all together. I'd say that soldering, nice and neat. I'd say that if you're going to not use solder and just put them through the threads, well, you have to anyway. You need to use really small cable. And make sure you get through those holes and twist them, and just make sure nothing's touching. This is pretty safe though. Solder is definitely going to hold a lot better though, especially if you tip it first before you put it in, before you connect them. But yeah, definitely going down to the smaller cable is what we had to do, and we wouldn't have them looking so shonky and messy. This one won't even go on properly. I don't want to twist the cable too much, so yeah, I would suggest smaller cable. Works a lot better. Moment of truth, everything works. This one, I don't know why it ended up a bit shorter for some reason. Just to cut a bit off, but otherwise it's all pretty good. Alright, and I've taken one battery out of each Volca so that they can't work any other way, because if I turn off the power, they're all going to drop out. So yeah, well, we got there in the end. A bit messy. Yeah, I haven't done this in a while as well, so, but oh well. It's definitely helped out with what I was trying to do.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that I cut the ends off the plugs because of the gauge of the cable. So, yeah, just make sure that you're getting the correct cable and smaller cable if you're going to attempt this project. I also want to point out that you have to solder the plug type that connected to the DC adapter plug. It's just the middle tab. It doesn't have a hole in it. It's very small. It needs to be soldered, so you wouldn't be able to do that bit without a soldering iron. But you could just cut the cables and connect it together on connectors or a bit of heat shrink, even tape. It would be fine. Now, all up, this project cost me about $30 or so. It was $2 or around about that for each plug, plus the DC adapter itself, which you're gonna have to buy anyway. It's kind of glad, because I nearly ordered a Korg Volca mix, but kind of glad that I didn't order it in the end, because I don't really need it. The power supply thing I really did want. I was kind of, yeah, the compression stuff would have been okay, or the boost or whatever, and the auxiliary effects, but we can live without that. There's much cheaper options, and with the power supply now supplying all the Volcas with the 9 volts that they need, Should be alright. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna be doing maybe a few more of these videos, but more setting up my hardware setup that I'm now gonna do. Trying to make some songs with hardware only or doorless, or a mixture of some doors. I've got a looper that I've just bought as well, an interior key step. I've already got the JDXI vocoder, a base station samplers, a few other things. So we should be able to make some pretty decent music, or even redo some of the old classic songs like Daft Gun, but doing them live and without the need for a computer. Should be fun. So it's more of just a little project, a side project for myself. So we'll see what happens, I guess. Who knows? Maybe it just all turns to shit and it sounds like ass. But we'll be there to show you. Have a good one!